Good morning and welcome to the new edition of my live comments. It has always been said that when USA sneezes, the possibility is that the Canada would catch a cold if not develop pneumonia. And that is what has happened and is happening. So much so that the economists and the bankers are worried. RBC President and CEO Dave McKay was very clear when he admitted and he warned in very clear, explicit terms that the federal government should take immediate action. And that action is to take effective steps to ensure stoppage of flow of investment capital that is happening already. And that flow from Canada to USA is quite a dangerous phenomenon. And that is a result of our not keeping pace with America. The conservative government here in this country was very much in favor of private enterprise and was corporate friendly. But even that government did not decrease the taxes on the corporates. Maybe at that time it was not required because USA had a tax which was 1% higher than Canadian tax. Unfortunately for Canada, but fortunately for the corporates, the new president, Donald Trump, came as a savior for them and reduced the corporate tax appreciably, bringing it down to 21.5% from 35%. In some cases from 40%. And when at this time, World Economic Forum in Davos, Prime Minister Trudeau was asked, would he follow the footsteps of President Trump or not? Mr. Trudeau was very explicit and he said, no, we will not reduce the corporate tax. The event was an invitation to the CEOs of the mega companies, inviting them to invest in Canada. 2 days earlier, President Trump had talked to the same group and was able to get from them assurances and commitments of investment of $3,200 billion for USA. India was successful in the same endeavor, so was China. And all of them had reduced the corporate taxes, and none of the corporate taxes anywhere is above 25%. I am talking of the countries who want foreign investment. USA corporate tax came down, and that was quite an attraction to the businessmen because their returns would be higher. Even otherwise, the cost of the goods, raw material, manpower is much cheaper in USA than it is here, and utilities, of course, than it is here in Canada. If you add to that higher taxation, naturally no businessman would like to invest here. So Ottawa has come under pressure from corporate Canada to respond to US tax overhaul. In case that doesn't happen, then of course there would be overflow of the investment which is supposed to be put in here to go to USA. And all the huge business investments being attracted towards south of the border would be something which, if not disaster, would not be less than tragedy. And according to Mr. McKay, in the real time, there's already investment exodus to USA. And he identified that there are two areas, two sectors in which this is extremely visible. First is the clean energy, and the second is the clean technology sector. In both the sectors, USA is attracting investment at a rate which it has never attracted before. If it was only the investment capital, one could have possibly lived with it, despite its harmful effects. But what happens is that the flight of capital is always followed by a loss of talent, which means the next generation of engineers, managers, problem solvers, researchers, and intellectual property would be created not north of the border, but south of the border. And what a tragedy it would be. The people who created, for example, telephone, BlackBerry, precursor to iPhone, would not be originators of the new technology here. They would all migrate to the greener pastures south of the border, because why should they pay more taxes here, pay higher utility bills here? It doesn't make sense. And what is the strong point of Canada is diversity, is people's asset would no longer be so. And when the government goes around saying that what a great place Canada is to invest, yes, it's a great country. It's an inclusive country, it's a diverse country. But if you don't keep the capital here, then you can't keep the people here as well. And these changes are so important, so that you bring human capital and financial capital together to this country. The human capital which is coming in the way of unskilled labor, our refugees, is not something which can build up the country. What we need is people of the highest order who can create innovative technologies suited to the needs of the world, as well as investment capital to translate those technologies into actual production. Because till they are commercialized, the technologies remain just research papers. And that translation from research to production requires capital. And if there's more return on capital in USA, people would go there. Since the election of President Trump, Canada's investment landscape has been dealing with deep uncertainty. The ongoing negotiations and renegotiations on NAFTA are a case in point. But NAFTA is one thing. US tax measure reforms are potentially much more dangerous, because those cuts make USA much superior and much more wanted place. And then, Canada's competitiveness challenges go beyond the high level tax rate changes in USA. For example, there's an important element that is encouraging capital to flow out of Canada. And that is a new law which Trump has brought in, which enables US companies to completely and immediately write off the full cost of new machinery and equipment. Now, you set up a plant worth $10 billion, out of which, let's say, $5 billion is the cost of new machinery and equipment. Right as soon as you set up, the US law says you can write it off as a loss. So your income falls down and you can carry it forward So not only the tax rates have fallen, but it's extended that, and the returns are increased consequently. Now, while it's happening over there, what Canada has done is there's a 2-year write-off for the equipment, and that only for the manufacturing and processing industries, not for others. What USA has done for all industries, all businesses, any capital investment would be written off right away. And this advantage, apart from the lower taxes, would be a great attraction to the people over there. There's tax expert Jack Mintz, and he says that the USA change of law allows firms in all sectors to expense the full cost of new equipment. In comparison, Canada suffers. And this Professor Mintz in Calgary believes the expense of capital equipment and investment is encouraging companies who had decided to set up the plants here, they had purchased land here, they had got the permission, and the last moment what they said is, no, let's not get the plant here, let's shift the plant over there and let it be in the godown or the warehouse till we can buy the land over there. And here now, the real price will go up, they'll sell the land, and with the same amount of money they invested here for the real estate purchase, they'll purchase over there, lease it, rent it, and settle the plant and equipment there, because the whole cost of the land, per peso, would not be equal to the write-off of the plant and equipment. They'll still gain even if they have to invest in that. So the business community is worried. And when Bill Morneau, the finance minister, was asked about it, he was very cagey. He was not very clear about what they want to do. We were hoping that in the February budget and March budget, something would be done, but all efforts went unheeded. I was shocked to see the finance minister defending the budget against complaints, and he was very clear that the US tax changes would not affect Canada at all. I fail to understand that the finance minister is advised by the top economists, and the same economists and the bankers are openly saying that this is a disaster. John Manley, formerly minister in Ketchen's cabinet, now the president of British Council of Canada, says that the issue of the competitiveness was just absence. There was no even mention or hint of the competitiveness increasing in the federal budget. And the biggest problem in investment attraction and retaining investment is that you have to move very quickly. Once you lose in the race or start losing in the race, then the law starts accelerating at a speed which you can't imagine. And now it's not only one banker, the another banker, BMOs. Douglas Potter says that the weak side of this year shows very clearly that the capital is leaving the country. And imagine, Canadian currency is one of the few currencies in the world that has weakened against US dollar this year. Other currencies are at par or rising. But Canadian currency has the privilege of being the sole currency of a developed country weakening against the US dollars. I was hoping that some of the provincial budgets might take care of it at some level, but none of the provincial budgets presented till today has taken even a baby step to improve Canada's competitiveness and provide tax relief to the businesses. In which world are we living? In which economic theory do we believe in? What are the economic principles to guide us? For me, the only principle is more investment means more jobs and a more prosperous society. And to attract investment, we have to be at par, if not better, than our neighbors. But to consistently ignore the warning signs, as I was talking yesterday about the market debt increasing beyond all imagination, this regressive tax policy, until and unless immediate revolutionary steps are taken to set it right, is fraught with danger to the economy of the country and its reputation as a country of knowledge. I'm worried. Are you not? And if you are not, you should be. You should stress upon the government to wake up. Being wise after the event is of no value. Let's read the signs and start galloping ahead, taking effective steps, lest it be too late. Thank you.